What is going on, workforce? Brian here, and we have just wrapped up the Microsoft E3 press conference for E3 2018, baby. And I have to say, just right off the bat, this has to probably be one of the best run Microsoft conferences that I've seen at E3 to date. They were really on point. Now, whether they announced the games that you were wanting, I know that I did not see anything about Final Fantasy XIV on the stage, and at the same time, I didn't think that if this game is ever going to come to Xbox, that they would take time at the E3 press conference to announce this. However, I'm never going to give out hope. But outside of that, Nier Automata, we've got a Tales game. We've got so many good little RPGs. There almost was like this Zelda Fox game called Tunic. It just looked fascinating, built by one developer. Regardless of that, I just wanted to take this time to really sit down and say that this was a fun and interesting conference in and of itself. But there's so much to talk about, so let's just go ahead and dive in and let's just discuss. Alright guys, so Microsoft kicks off the event with Halo Infinity. This looks like I have no clue what it is. Like, is this a Halo 6? Is this replacing Halo 6? Is this a open world? Really nothing there, but they've teased it. And so at least, if nothing else, this is way better marketing than they did for Halo 5, because all of the marketing that led up to Halo 5 was like all this story stuff. It seemed to set up this conflict and nothing delivered on that promise of marketing. But in this case, visual, world, obviously you see Chief, then he's popping in, whether it's at Cortana, I don't know. I don't really care. I am excited to see that we're going to be getting something interesting and big, it seems like, with the Halo universe and the Halo world. And so that was the start, and then they really kind of ended, obviously, with the big kind of like surprise of CD Projekt's Red, Cyberpunk 2077, looking obviously like an RPG, very interesting. I don't know much about that. I know there's been rumors about this game for a while, but as far as it goes, obviously Gears. If you didn't know this about me, I love Gears of War. Been a huge Gears of War fan since the beginning, going up, playing through 4, really enjoying it, still having finally beaten it. And obviously that game being in Game Pass, and obviously all the stuff that Microsoft is announcing is going into Game Pass itself. So it just seems to be an ever-present offer. The big takeaway is that Microsoft stood up on stage and they talked about their commitment, reaffirming their commitment as the entirety of Microsoft, which is a huge monster corporation that has a lot of money, and says they've acquired 5 studios. The ones that jump out at me are Ninja Theory, Playground Games, the guys who made Undead Labs, who made recently been playing the why is it drawn? Oh, State of Decay 2. Sorry, I don't know why I drew a blank on that at that moment. But okay, so they've acquired 5 new development studios as a part of Microsoft Studios. This has been hugely important. If you look at what's been going on with Microsoft over the course of Xbox One versus like PS4 with that kind of concept, is that they have been losing their shirt. Not financially, because the Xbox has sold really well, but just in terms of market share. And then you have just the stellar lineup that Sony has been able to deliver game after game after game with these experiences this year alone. And whether it's like your cup of tea or not, it really kind of shows true. And this isn't a problem that Microsoft is going to solve overnight. This is not a problem that can be fixed within, the acquisition of 1 or 2 studios. But what they are doing and what they are saying is that, to me, as an Xbox player, somebody who really enjoys my Xbox One X, the controllers, the services that they offer, this to me says, yes, we're doing this. Now, the only thing that could have made this better is that they announced that Dragon Quest XI was coming, which they didn't, and probably isn't, and that's really disappointing. But to see some of the investment that they're making in relationships, it looks really cool. There was a moment, like with the Lara Croft, with the Shadow of the Tomb Raider, that she was coming out of this pool, and it's got this fiery background, and it really made me think of Link from the Smash Brothers reveal from earlier this year, and it just kind of made me laugh because there was this similar, kind of look and feel to it with Link as being a part of that. And anyway, I doubt that Lara Croft is coming to Smash Brothers, but I just thought that was it would be a really interesting and weird tease to also announce at the Xbox briefing. So, I'm really interested. I was texting the guys we play. We've been playing Call of Duty World of War as a part of our game night, which is kind of a weekly thing. And I was saying, like, if Halo 6 comes out this year, that's the game I'm voting for. Obviously, it does not look like Halo 6 is coming out this year. But let's say with Halo Infinite, they're setting that up for 2019. With Gears of War 5, which they announced as well, hugely interesting. The Gears of War pop thing, I don't know what the heck's going on with that. Well, whatever. But with that, like, are they literally dropping like two of their biggest franchises on the same year? I wouldn't complain, but at the end of the day, pretty interesting. Obviously, rumor and speculation that more stuff and updates were coming to Halo 5. That would be interesting to help, offset the tide, help offset the waiting, because it will have been 3 years this fall since we've seen a Halo game. But as far as it goes, like, I was really blown away by that. But I really enjoyed seeing more. The fact that Nier Automata is coming out. It's out on PC. It's been on PlayStation. It's like the definitive edition or whatever their version is with the DLC. I'm really excited because that game really was critically acclaimed for the year 2017. And yes, I could have picked it up on PlayStation, and yes, I could have probably picked it up on PC. But as far as it goes, I was like, well, let's see if it happens if it comes to Xbox. So it is coming out June 26th. Really excited. I'm gonna have to check that game out on my Xbox One X and see how it plays. It looks gorgeous. It's by Square Enix. There's a lot of games that Square Enix showed up to deliver. They have the Life is Strange team making Captain Spirit, or I might have that name wrong. But it's making these very cinematic, original stories driven games, and then you have and then you obviously have Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and it was really cool. And then obviously Kingdom Hearts 3 gameplay reveal, talking about with Frozen and some Hercules and some other of these game worlds within the Disney franchise. I was hoping that we would see them saying that Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, the HD remasters that they came out on the PlayStation not too long ago, would be coming over to the Xbox, but it doesn't appear that that either that was an announcement then, or we're not getting it now. But as far as it goes, I was really quite impressed. Like I said, I think Microsoft really delivered. I love it when Phil Spencer comes on stage. We didn't have too many guest speakers. The only awkward piece, I guess, was when the Game Pass, and I forget her name, lady was up on stage, to talk about, I guess, the AI learning and the different tools they're bringing into their platform, which is all well and good. And that's kind of hard. It's a hard segment to sell to to an audience full of gamers. But as far as it goes, that, I guess had to be done. Games Pass, if you don't know, is a hugely impressive deal for both PC and for Xbox. You get right now all of Microsoft Studios day one in the system, and they also announced more games will be coming day and date releasing in the system. And they said new games obviously are now. So you have not Oblivion, you have Shadow, whatever. You have Elder Scrolls Online. Thank you, Brian. Takes me a minute sometimes when I get excited. Elder Scrolls Online coming to Game Pass. You have they have Fallout 4 and one other game that I cannot seem to remember for the life of me, but I was like, oh, that's going to be excellent. I'm happy to see people. Oh, Halo Master Chief Collection. Not today, but it's coming really soon to Games Pass. And then obviously Forza Horizon 4 coming to Games Pass with a shared world racing game. So we've got shared world shooters. We've got whatever Anthem is going to be, and then we've got now shared world racing, which seemed interesting. It also kind of makes sense with how Horizon's been progressing, and they said 60 frames on Xbox One X, which I was like, thank you. It's beautiful. When you look at Forza 7, it's going to be even more beautiful going forward now. So I'm trying to just like wrap my mind around everything that was announced. Like, obviously you have Ori. They showed off a lot of really cool things. A lot of things I haven't played, but the big surprise, I guess, is that Battletoads is making a comeback, which is exciting to see, like, them start to leverage some of their classic game library and IP that they own that they really haven't done anything with. So it's going to be neat to see what they decide to do with Battletoads. I tweeted at Marty over at IGN because I know he really hates that Battletoads series, and he's always been advocating that they bring Blinks back from the Xbox, OG Xbox, and I was just like, kind of laughing because I was like, yep, oh, no Blinks, but we're getting a Battletoads. Let me think here. I'd love to know what you guys are thinking about, obviously, where Xbox stands. It's a really good kickoff to E3. We still obviously have Square Enix tomorrow, and that's going to be really exciting. And then we have the live letter on Tuesday, Nintendo on Tuesday. We got Bethesda tonight, and then we also have Sony as well. So lots of press conferences, lots of information, lots more games to be coming out. As far as it goes. But I think Microsoft delivered on what I was wanting. I really want to see more. I want to see them make that continual investment to not let these games that really aren't exclusive to one platform remain exclusive on those platforms, aka for me, Final Fantasy 14. I still like to see 12. I don't know what the legal and the challenges are to get those on any kind of one system, but as far as it goes, I would love to see Microsoft keep making those strides forward. And again, I have a lot to look forward to when it comes to the next, I guess, year. Who knows what we're going to see over the next course of the year, like when we start getting some hard and fast release dates, but it does feel that the fall lineup is pretty thin. And you know, as far as it goes, I mean, you can't really do much about it. If Halo's not this year, if Gears of War is not this year, you know, I guess we're gonna have to wait and see what becomes of it. And obviously, as we rate them versus the other big console manufacturers, we'll have to see what they bring to the table as well. But guys, that is my reaction to the Xbox press conference. Sound off in the comments below if you liked anything, if you didn't like anything about the conference, what you're thinking, feeling. I'd love to have that conversation with you. But for Work to Game, my name is Brian. This has been my rambling Xbox video. I hope you all have a fantastic E3, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Hey, what's going on? This is the end screens. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please hit one of these whatevers around the screen for some even more fun. Who knows what's going to happen? I don't know. I don't know what Google's thinking.